proportional applications are actually not as scary as some of them seem. The biggest thing you have to be able to do is you have to be able to figure out what your units are and what your proportion needs to be. Once you know those two things, the rest of it is fairly simple, in that you just set up your cross product and solve for your variable. So this first one says we have that 5 books are for $142. So how much is for 7 books? So what I'm looking at is I'm looking at having a proportion of, say, money to books. So that being said, I know that it's going to cost me $142 to get 5 books. And on the other side, I have no idea how much that's cost, but here I'm using 7 books. Once you set up your proportion, now all you have to simply do is solve. Remember, solving proportions is as easy as using your cross product, where you multiply across your equal sign top to bottom on either side. So this is going to tell me that I have 5x is equal to 142 times 7. So my 5x is going to be $994 divided by 5. So x is going to be $198.80. And this is what we were looking for. Okay. Now, if you wanted to say, write this as a complete thought, what you would say is you would say that it costs $198.80 for 7 books. And that would give you the most complete answer of all. But what we're really looking for is we're looking for you to solve it. And so this is what we're after. Alright, so now we have that Suzanne can purchase 12 gingerbread men cookies from an internet-based bakery for $800. How much will 15 gingerbread men cookies cost? So again, we are looking at cost per cookies. So here we know that it's going to cost $8 to get 12 cookies. So we need to know how much is it going to cost for 15 cookies. So again, we're going to cross multiply. So we have 12 times the unknown is equal to 8 times 15. So 12 times the unknown is going to be equal to 120. So x is going to equal $10. So again, here is the result we wanted. Now again, if you wanted to make it completely complete or the most accurate, you would make a statement that says it costs $10 for 15 gingerbread cookies. So the statement would be your most complete answer, but what we're looking for is that you were able to solve for the variable. Alright, let's look at another one. So here Sam spends 30 minutes studying 4 pages of his anatomy chapter. How many minutes will it take him to study the entire 14-page chapter? So here we are looking at minutes per pages. So we have 30 minutes for 4 pages is going to equal an unknown minutes for 14 pages. Again, we would cross multiply, so we get that 4x is equal to 30 times your 14. So 4x is equal to 420. Divide everything by 4 and we get that x is equal to 105 minutes. Now notice in all of these we have been putting a unit on your answer, and that's because just simply saying 105 doesn't tell you anything. What we were solving for is we were solving for x minutes. So you have to put your unit on your answers. Again, if you wanted to make this totally complete, you could write a sentence that says, it takes 105 minutes to read the entire 14-page chapter. But again, what we're looking for is that you were able to find the variable. Alright, many farmers can yield an average of 510 bushels of corn in 3 acres. How many bushels of corn might a farmer expect from 11 acres? So here we are looking at bushels, 2 acres. So in doing that, what do we know? Well, we know that we have 510 bushels to 3 acres. And we want to know how many bushels is in 11 acres. Again, cross multiply, so we get that 3x is equal to 510 times 11. So now we need to solve for x. And to get x totally by itself means we have to divide. So x here is going to be 1,870 bushels, and this was the overall result. So hopefully after these so far, you're starting to see a little bit of a pattern in that all of these applications are solved in almost the exact same way, where you have to identify just simply what was the numerator, what is the denominator, and then set up your proportional cross product. So here again we have in Ethan's white gold ring, the ratio of nickel to gold is 3 to 13. So we are looking now at nickel to gold. If the ring contains 4.16 ounces of gold, how much nickel does it contain? So we have to set up the ratio of nickel to gold. So it says nickel to gold is 3 to 13. So that means we have 3 nickel to 13 gold is equal to an unknown ounce of nickel to the 4.16 ounces of gold. And now we again cross product. So we'll have 13x is equal to 3 times the 4.16. So my 13x is equal to 12.48. Divide everything by 13 and we end up with x is 0.0 0.96 ounces of nickel. And there we go. Now with this one, notice that it doesn't actually say what you're supposed to round to. However, when you actually do this division here, you come out with just 0.96. If that wasn't the case, if this came out to being, say, 0.9632 or whatnot, I always take my cue from the problem at hand. So if you notice, this problem here only goes to the hundredths place. Since the problem goes to the hundredths place, the answer goes to the hundredths place. Okay, so that is one approach you can use if you have not been given a rounding rule to use. Okay. Now, how about this one? We have that Jean bought a new car. In the first 8 months, it was driven 9,000 miles. At this rate, how many miles will the car be driven in 1 year? Well, the first thing that we have to do is we need to convert a year to months. Well, that's fairly simple. We know that 1 year equals 12 months, and we are only talking about 1 year's time. Now, if this was talking about, say, 2 or 3 years, we would then take that 12 months and multiply it by the number of years we had to get the number of months we needed. Here we're talking about 1 year, so we're good. Now the proportion that we are looking at is we are looking at miles to months. So here we have 9,000 miles was driven in 8 months, and we want to know how many miles would be driven in 12 months. So again, we need to cross multiply. So my 8x is equal to 12 times your 9,000. So when we do that, 12 times 9,000, we're going to get 108,000. Divide everything by 8, and we end up getting that x is equal to 13,500 miles. Okay, let's look at just a couple more here. So we have the nutritional chart on the side of the box of Kellogg's Rice Krispie cereal states that there are 130 calories in 1 1/4 cup serving. How many calories are in 5 cups? So first, we want to make sure that we go mixed to improper. So we have 1 1/4 is going to be equal to bottom times the big number plus the top all over the bottom, which gives you 5/4. And then we have calories, 2 cups. So here, when we're looking at it, we have 130 calories is in 5/4 of a cup, and this is going to be equal to an unknown amount of calories that are in 5 cups. So again, we cross multiply, so we have 5/4x is equal to 130 times 5. So this gives us that 5/4x is equal to 650. I want to multiply the whole thing by 4. So we get that 5x is equal to 2600. And then we're going to divide everything by 5, and we end up with x is 520 calories. Alright, last, 2 units of a certain gas weigh 175 grams. What is the weight of 5 units of gas? So here we are looking at grams, 2 units. So I have 175 grams to 2 units of gas, and that's going to be an unknown weight of grams to 5 units of gas. So here we're going to have 2x is equal to 175 times 5. So this is going to give us 875. Divide everything by 2, and we get that x is 437.5 grams. Alright, so there you have it. A ton of different examples on how we use proportions to solve application problems of all different types. Remember, the biggest thing you have to do is you just simply have to identify what are the units that are going into your proportion. If you have different units, you need to make sure that you convert so that you have the same unit across your numerator that you have across your denominator. And then just simply set up your proportions and solve for the missing variable. If you have any questions, make sure you let me know. Otherwise, enjoy yourself. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.